This is Eric, your host of the Entrepreneur's Voice Show, and today we have a guest that is going to be sharing some information with us that can help your business grow its bottom line revenues and just make more money. But to make more money, are you a Twitter follower? Are you a social media engager? Are you a business that understands the value of how to use social media? So, a couple of questions we want to talk about today as we interview our guests. We're going to be thinking about these questions. Are you looking for more engaged Twitter followers? And are you looking for more quality followers on Twitter? Well, to help us with this today, we've got Michael Koala with socialquant.com, .net, socialquant.net. Clarify that, socialquant.net. Go check this out at the end of this video. Check them out. But we're going to be talking to the CEO of Social Quant. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, in this world of social media, there's so many opportunities for people to get engaged with. A lot of people just don't understand where to get started sometimes. What's one of the first things that you do to help a business owner when it comes to social media and their business?
So with social media, we focus primarily on Twitter. That's currently what Social Quant focuses on. So with what we do is we basically use a proprietary algorithm and big data to go out. A client of ours would give us a certain number of keywords, and they would say, these are the keywords of the types of people that we would like to connect with on Twitter. And what we do is we use our algorithm and big data, and we go out and build them a very large following on Twitter, but more importantly, it's a very qualified following. So these are people that are actually engaged, no fake accounts, no spam accounts. These are people that are very active on Twitter around topics that clients are telling us that they want to meet those types of folks.
Wow, that's, how long does that idea or that strategy been around or, used to implement?
Yeah, so the company, it's a startup. So we just started the company a couple of months ago, but we've had people in this program now in beta testing it since June and possibly even earlier when we were actually building the tool. But since June, we've seen incredible results. I mean, we have, one of our case studies is of an individual by the name of Sheena White. She lives here in Tampa. She's a social media strategist. She had 600 followers at the time when she started with the Social Quant back in June. Today, she's standing at over 15,000 qualified, engaged followers on Twitter. And when I say qualified, that's the very big part, because anybody can go out there and buy fake followers. You can go to Fiverr.com and you can buy 5,000 followers for $5. But the idea is obviously on social media to engage with people. You want real people who are going to engage back with you.
Real people.
And the object is obviously at the end of the day is if they like, know, and trust you, they're obviously going to do business with you. And that's what's great about social media, not just Twitter. It's great with Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them. It's a relationship side, and that's why, hence the word social. The more you're social on it, the better results you'll have.
That's a really huge point. And there's a lesson that I want to draw back to on what you just said. And this is one of the advantages. Officially, they're considered a startup company, been in business 2 months. But here's a business lesson that I want everyone in the business world, or if you're a new entrepreneur, to take away from something that you just said. And that is, they've been testing this product and setting up the system since June or prior to June of last year. So their rollout means that they've had 6 to 8 months of ramp up, so that when you roll out, you've got data. So when you hit the streets, you're not just saying, hey, give us a try. Let us, this is what we think we can do, hope and pray.
Yeah. And
that's a huge lesson.
It is. You definitely have to test. And even when it does go live, you definitely have to also constantly get feedback. So part of the things that I do as the CEO of the company, and even the founder of the company, we're always talking to our customers and saying, how can we make this a better product for you? We have a dashboard where folks can sign in every 5 minutes if they want to, once a day, what have you, and see real time what keywords are working the best and which keywords should they change. And I'm constantly asking folks, how can we make our dashboard better for you? What could we add to it? What could we take away? What would make this the best product for you? So to your point, definitely getting, the product right in the beginning is important, but I'm also a big believer in, my famous quote that I always tell folks is, imperfect action beats perfect inaction. You've got to launch. If you're looking to get into business, you can't wait until everything's perfect. it's not going to happen. You launch, but then get feedback from your customers. And if you're sincere with your customers, they're going to stick around with you, especially if it's a good product.
Yeah, that's huge. I appreciate hearing that. So, all right, so let's dive into this. You've got this proprietary strategy and software algorithm that helps people and so forth. But what are a few different ways in which people could use Twitter in their business for some good results?
Yeah, so as we were speaking before the start of today, I've been an entrepreneur quite some time. I've owned several different businesses, but back in 2008, I had a residential cleaning company. And actually, I owned it since 2005, but in 2007, 2008, started testing Twitter. And what I did is I went to Twitter and started just finding people locally who were in the local South Jersey community. And so I was talking to them on Twitter, and I started building relationships with these folks. And they obviously saw in my profile, and occasionally I tweet out offers or specials of things that we would do. I started building clients from Twitter just through connecting with local folks. At that same time, I started an online company where we were selling office supplies. And what I ended up doing is, I started looking at, my competitors, Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, and I would put in the hashtag in the search field and start looking for when people were talking to Staples. And typically, when people go to social media, sometimes they want to talk to a brand. What are they talking to them about? Most of the time, it's a concern, something maybe that's happened. So,
Right.
Hey, Staples, could you help me out? My printer broke. Or I'm at Staples right now buying ABC. I would jump in on those conversations because we were an online store and we were a discount store. And I would start talking with people. And on Twitter, it was awesome because, any business can do this, is go out there and search conversations that are going on live, and you can attract customers.
Wow, that's deep. That's and powerful.
It's powerful.
Sounds effective. And
yeah.
so, what kind of results could you describe, or success stories?
Yeah, so one of my biggest is by a famous social media individual by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. Just a great guy. I'm a huge fan of Gary.
Yeah, Gary's the man.
Yeah,
social media.
He's got 1 million+ followers on Twitter. Back at the time, he hadn't been at 1 million yet, but he was still very active on Twitter. And he was talking about his office grew so fast that they were moving to a new office, and that he was trying to actually in this tweet he was saying if anybody wanted to move into his existing office because they were still on a lease. And I just jumped in on the conversation and said, well, you're moving to a new office. Office furniture is terribly expensive. You're probably going to get ripped off. You've helped it, your fans out so much. I want to get back to you. I want to give you everything at cost. So I started a conversation with Gary. He ended up putting me in touch with his brother, AJ. And lo and behold, a couple of days later, even though we gave them an incredible price, they ended up still going to our website and ordering directly from the website at the price that was on our website. They didn't even take the discount. To this day, I don't know why they didn't do that. It ended up being well over $20,000 in business for our company in a matter of a few days. But I really just, looking back, I think, he must have gone out. He knew what they wanted. They must have shopped. Our prices were the best. I think he was just appreciative that somebody reached out. So, I sent him a ton of free stuff afterwards, just saying how much we appreciate the business. I mean, I sent him a case of Dum Dums saying, I feel like a Dum Dum. You haven't answered me yet. Why did you buy without the discount? So, I'm sure his office like that.
And that all was started and initiated from what?
From one tweet.
One tweet.
One tweet.
Tweets can be very, very powerful and profitable.
Extremely. I've interviewed a lot of folks throughout the years and talking with individuals, and I was speaking to somebody in Arizona, a commercial cleaning company, built their entire commercial base off of Twitter. Whenever they saw that a commercial building or a business was moving into their town, their community, and this was Arizona, Phoenix, whenever they saw a new business, they would start a conversation with them, start building relationship before they actually moved in there. And guess who they would go to when they needed a commercial resident or commercial cleaning company? This individual. Again, for those that look at it and really are social on it, it works so well. The downside, what happens on Twitter a lot, and really all social media, is you've got people just creating this noise and pushing their product all day, but never engaging with the individuals on there. It's social for a reason. Be social. The more social you are, the faster the impact. And that's what we try to tell our folks with Social Quant. We can grow you a fast, big Twitter following that's qualified. But at the end of the day, you can grow much faster if you help us out by communicating and really building relationships with the individuals who we're getting you as followers.
So that's another, I mean, you're dropping jewels and gold nuggets. I'm gonna reiterate something that you just said, and that is people are on social media. And if you're a business owner, as an entrepreneur, stop screaming, buy me, buy me, buy me. Don't throw that in front of people all the time, but create a social experience. Create a, hey, want to share? I just learned, I just found out. Here's a way to, they're going to be engaged, and you can softly bring people into what you're looking for.
You definitely,
And make sales.
you know, and when people retweet you on Twitter, reach out and say thank you. I mean, right now, Twitter's got this new feature which gives you the opportunity to do a video for 30 seconds. So whenever somebody, you know, when I have the time throughout the day, you know, sometimes I just send a quick, hey, thanks for retweeting us, how's everything going? But a lot of times I'll jump on in front of the camera and just send them a personalized message. Hey, you know, really appreciated that retweet. I just wrote a post the other day on how to build a Twitter list. I love Twitter lists. So a couple of people have been retweeting it. It's been retweeted 200 plus times. And I've been sending some of those folks video responses just saying, hey, how do you use Twitter lists? You know, would love to, you know, share you on our blog in the future. People like that sincerity. And at the same time, you know, people then come back and look. So it just happened the other morning. Somebody had said, really love that blog post. And this was about a different topic on Twitter. I said, oh, that's great. You know, how are you using this in your business? She's like, I'm not. And then I threw out a suggestion to her. She goes, you know what? I'm going to try that. And you just got yourself a new customer. And she signed up 10 minutes later for a social quant. All engagement. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Engagement, be social, not salesy.
Definitely.
Any other tips that you feel like people can walk away with, or they need to know more information about what you guys are doing and how they can connect with you and so forth?
Definitely. Well, anybody can visit us at www.socialquant.net. When they come to the site, they're going to see within moments on the site a nice gentle pop-up that invites them to see a webinar. And during that webinar, it's a 12-minute webinar. I encourage you to, if you have time, check it out, because at the end, we also give an amazing discount for the tool. So you can either go to the site and sign up at its current price, or watch this webinar. You're incentivized to watch the webinar because you get an incredible discount. So, you know, I encourage folks to do that. But, you know, if you've got questions, reach out to us on Twitter. On Twitter, we are at The Social Quant, and I'm there actively managing it throughout the day and having conversations. So I'd love to talk to you.
The Social Quant. Go to Twitter, follow them, retweet, engage with them, experience what your business deserves so that you can be a success. Michael, I would love to get you back if you don't mind, because you are a true entrepreneur. You've raised money for businesses. You've done a variety of things. The purpose of our show is to really help business owners reach pinnacles of success. So I'd like to bring you back on if you don't mind, if you're available. And we can talk about some more business aspects of what it took to make the decisions that you've made, the leaps of faith that you've had to make, because let's face it, as entrepreneurs, it takes sometimes that leap of faith.
You do. You jump and you build wings on the way down.
Absolutely. Or as they say, build a plane as you fly it.
Exactly.
So, well, again, Eric Smith, your host of Entrepreneur's Voice Show. We've had Michael Koala from Social Quant, and you definitely want to jump in and follow what these guys are doing. Thank you for being on. Appreciate your time, and see you at the next episode.
Take care.